Ее ж развернула нахуй. Пизда нас, короче, расхуярила.
North Korean troops have reportedly pulled back from the front line in Russia's Kursk region after suffering heavy losses. A Ukrainian Special Forces commander with the call sign PULS told Sky News. PULS, who leads the 1st Combat Divers Battalion of Ukraine's Special Operations Forces, observed a noticeable shift around 2 weeks ago, with the North Koreans pulling back from the front lines. The Russians are standing, working everywhere along the front line, but no Koreans, he said. Either they're analyzing their mistakes or tending to their wounds, or maybe they're waiting for reinforcements, he said, adding that reports suggested Kim Jong-un could be sending additional troops to the region. Polls assessed that, based on intercepted Russian communications, the North Koreans are not gone for good. They're still present, training or waiting for reinforcements. Something is happening. They'll be back soon, he said. Polls highlighted the distinct way North Korean troops operate compared to Russian forces, saying they are far more disciplined, with exceptional morale and determination, completely brainwashed. According to News, the report, Ukrainian troops described DPRK troops' tactics as relentless, with soldiers pushing forward under heavy fire even as the number of casualties continues to mount. Efforts to recover the dead and wounded suggest a desire to remove evidence of their presence more than for humanitarian reasons. In other instances, wounded North Koreans have resorted to suicide to avoid capture, shouting, "For General Kim Jong-un." Coordination issues with Russian forces, exacerbated by language barriers, have hindered their effectiveness according to several reports. North Koreans were described as better equipped than many Russian soldiers, but lacked heavy armor, relying on foot movement and improvised transport such as golf buggies. Polls described them as perfectly groomed, appearing to be aged between 25 to 40 years old, saying their disciplined appearance contrasted with their brutal battlefield losses. According to Sky News, Kim Jong-un nor Vladimir Putin have yet to officially acknowledge the deployment of North Korean troops to the war in Ukraine. However, Pulse's commandos recently conducted a mission to gather DNA samples and documents from about 25 DPRK soldiers killed in a drone and artillery strike in Kursk. Body camera footage shared with Sky News shows Ukrainian SSO fighters collecting evidence from the scene. The soldiers carefully extracted DNA samples, bagged clumps of hair, and removed documents including military ID cards, handwritten notes, and photographs. The identity documents were Russian, seemingly in an attempt to conceal the soldiers' North Korean identity. A soldier involved in the operation, codenamed Trainer, reported that the North Koreans carried only ammunition and chocolate, with no water supplies, relying on taking Ukrainian positions for sustenance. Among their items were maps, letters, and notes, which Trainer said appeared to document battlefield experiences, adding, "It's the experience they are accumulating for their country, for conflicts they might face in the future." DPRK forces have suffered significant losses in the Kursk region, with British intelligence reporting 4,000 casualties by mid-January, over a third of the 11,000 troops initially deployed, as per the UK Ministry of Defense. Of these, a quarter were killed in action, severely undermining their ability to support Russia's offensive, the report read. The report also highlighted language barriers and integration issues between DPRK and Russian forces, which have limited their effectiveness. Meanwhile, the Institute for the Study of War predicts that at the current rate, North Korea's deployed forces could be entirely wiped out by mid-April. Since their December deployment, DPRK troops have faced relentless combat, averaging 92 casualties daily. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed 3,800 casualties earlier this month, while South Korea's intelligence reported 300 killed and 2,700 wounded as of January 13. Ukraine's Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky acknowledged their discipline and bravery, but said they often advance without proper armored support, relying on human waves through minefields. According to the New York Times, these tactics expose both their determination and poor coordination with Russian forces, who treat DPRK soldiers as expendable. Unlike Russian troops, North Koreans reportedly evacuate their wounded, but are ordered to commit suicide if captured. Ukrainian forces also claim Russian drones target both DPRK captives and Ukrainian soldiers to prevent their capture. The boys were carrying ammunition in a pickup truck. They were hit by a drone. Adventures of the Moscow invading hordes. Russia is so overstretched that President Trump just needs to raise one finger to push it over the edge. Logistics in the second best army in the world.
We've come to this, damn it. We've got a cart. It doesn't want to go. The bridge fell off. It has wires, RPG, TNT. We're going to mine. It's like a cart with Wi-Fi. Ours is without. Ours is on a string.
We're transporting a heavy wounded one, the only one from the company who survived, says this Russian soldier.
Here, dam. We are transporting a heavy one. This dam is the one who survived. The only one from the company dam. It's a disaster. Damn, we lost the guys there.
President Volodymyr Zelensky named one of the armed forces of Ukraine's most popular and successful generals to command in the eastern Donbas region on Sunday. As Ukrainian and Russian forces were locked in heavy battles across the fighting line in the strategically critical Pokrovsk sector, he will take over leadership of the Krytsia Operational Strategic Group, the AFU headquarters responsible for operations along a 300-kilometer line of front that has been the scene of the war's most intense fighting for more than a year, Zelensky said during a nightly evening national video statement. Drapety already was commander of all AFU ground forces and will keep that job, the Ukrainian leader said. Aged 42, Drapety is among the most prominent of a new generation of younger Ukrainian general officers that had fought against Russian forces since 2014. He came to prominence and senior command thanks to battlefield successes combating Russia's second, more massive invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Drapety is usually credited for stitching together defenses in Ukraine's chaotic southern sector in early 2022, and then planning and leading a counteroffensive that liberated the Kherson region later that year. In later operations along the Dnipro River, his command pioneered mass use of FPV drones to control airspace and dominate terrain behind Russian lines. Prior to appointment to Ground Forces Command in November 2024, Drapety-led forces brought major Russian offensives to a halt in the northern Kharkiv and eastern Luhansk regions. Among rank-and-file Ukrainian service personnel, Drapety is usually considered a careful commander focused on inflicting maximum enemy casualties, and a thorough planner prioritizing protecting troop lives over holding ground to the death. Drapety's appointment came against a background of continued heavy Russian assaults in the Khortytsia area of responsibility. Per data made by Ukraine's Army General Staff on Monday, over the past week, Ukrainian forces engaged Russian forces 1,080 times in a combat clashes, of which nearly half, 488, were aimed towards the city at the center of the Khortytsia defensive network, the industrial city of Pokrovsk.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.